Hello folks, it is time for some more hobby nightmares. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, a bank holiday weekend if you're in the UK. We have just passed 20,000 subscribers, quite sneakily, just before the weekend. Thank you very much for your continued support of the channel. If you would like to help me out, please subscribe as we head towards our lifetime 40,000 subscriber count target. My days, it is going to be a big couple of years here on the channel. Hopefully your hobby nightmares help you out and you're getting your dose here today on Monday. I was thinking about not doing one today because it is bank holiday and I've got family stuff to do, but you know what? I can't leave you without a video. I'd feel too rotten if I did that. So, Nervous Nick says, "Hi North, Nervous Nick here. Why nervous? Well, number one, this is not a conventional nightmare, and number two, I may be about to get a telling off from your good self." Oh, starting a Monday well, I see. In fact, this may not be read out at all. There are no outrageous neckbeards, furries in clip-on tails and ears. There are no relationship woes, dramatic partners, blue-haired defenders of the downtrodden, or frayed tempers. What there is, however, is something that may be relatable to some people, and that's a hard case of painting envy. Or, more broadly, hobby envy. Hobby envy that is hitting a wee bit too close for home for comfort. This may seem trivial to some people. It may seem like I'm being a bit childish or petulant. Maybe I am. But it's something that is having a negative impact on my current headspace in the hobby right now. So I thought, why not? Rather than stewing, there's your mailbag. I'll tug your ear. I'm going to call him Max. Max has been in and around our wider friend circle for a long time now. He's not a super close friend, but there's some intermittent bursts of interaction on Discord, and he's often part of the wider group when we all meet up. I don't really meet him in smaller groups, but if there's a night out or a beer and pretzels game evening with 8 or 9 people, he's usually one of them. Max is pretty chill, a bit modest, at least outwardly, and one of the charismatic group members when he's around. He's a nerd, no doubt, but you'd never think it to look at him. He's a social chameleon, a face in the crowd, in a good way, mind. He's definitely been seen as too normal looking, or one of the young dads in a games workshop or a board games cafe. Yeah, I think I think I'm Max. You know, you better not know me. To be fair, like I think most of my hobby friends look normal too, though. I think we've all just grown up. Do you know what I mean? You all just grow up out of our quirks, our nerdy quirks. But I digress. The main thing Max is, and this is an important thing to remember, is that he is good at stuff. Oh god, I know guys at this. A few years back, when we used to go on messy nights out to the rock club, we would piss around on Mario Kart sometimes. Max won almost every race. Switch to Smash Bros, Max was very much a dangerous player. Board games, Max was maxed out. Terrible pun, sorry. Popping out combos and plays that nobody else did. Even the little things. We'd go to a Chinese restaurant and he'd ask for the chopsticks before using them with a rapid flourish. Go-kart racing, fastest lap. Not just in our group, but the fastest of the day, of course. There was a time we went bowling and he won comfortably. FPS games, he always had the best kill to death ratio. I think you just get the gist of it. I'll stop meandering now before I dox the guy with all these examples and just get straight to the point. One day out of the blue, I start getting some one-to-one messages from Max saying that he was looking into 40k lore and painting tutorials on YouTube. And now, here's where you may tell me off. My reaction in Messenger was along the lines of, "Ah, cool, yeah, awesome," and the like. But that was on Messenger. That was not how I felt. How did I feel? Meh. You see, 40k and wargaming has always been the thing I do in the group. I have a separate load of hobby people I meet up with sporadically, but in the usual broad friend group, it's my thing, you know? Back in the 2000s and early 2010s, my friend circle were into it to varying extents, but the aging metalheads and video gamers that I hang out with nowadays, not so much. And I haven't said the thing that Max is best at yet. Art. It was happening. It was a short time later that Max sent me photos of 1,000 points worth of model boxes. I hate to be teased, but I don't want to say what the army is. It doesn't really add anything to this account, but it leaves the door open for Max to completely recognize himself if he ever finds this on YouTube somewhere. Anyway, so the work in progress photos came. If I didn't reply, it'd end up being a chain of messages, all one-sided from his end. A couple sent each day. He'd make little self-deprecating remarks while sending a photo of a perfectly shaded body part. He'll ask for feedback and say, "I think it's quite good, haha," while posting something that would get spammed with upvotes on Reddit. I first posted compliments, but this only intensified the frequency of messages. I'm afraid I ended up posting a few, "yeah" replies, with emphasis on the full stop at the end of the "yeah." I know, that's classic dickhead texting, but I was feeling down about the drip, drip, drip of paint envy. Okay, before I go on, mate, I think you're going to be shocked here, okay? I'm not going to have a huge go at you. I've had friends like this, okay? I've literally had friends like this who are just good at everything, or they seem to be really good at everything. And it doesn't matter what they do, that they're all really good at it. And then I think it's only natural for, your one last bastion of what you like, away from this guy. You give this guy everything else. Whatever else we do, yeah, mate, you're the best at it. No problem. Absolutely. Have fun. But Warhammer's your solace. It's your place. And now he's there too, infecting it with that. And this guy does seem to be someone who gets off on being the best. It's just a vibe I get. I haven't heard so much about him in this Hobby Nightmare, aside from his behaviour. The things he's texting you and saying, "Oh, I think it's quite good," ha ha ha, right? Things like that. Normally people send you stuff like that when they know it's good, right? They know it's great. And they just want you to tell them it's great. That's it, right? They're meing is what they're doing. Me. I'm great. Look at me, right? Happens quite a lot. There's this one really good sketch in the It Crowd where there's a show in the UK where there's a singer-songwriter and he plays a song for a girl who's into music, and he's nodding along afterwards as she says, "Yeah, that's brilliant. It's amazing. It's so touching." He's like, "Yes, I know." And she goes, "But there's a few things that just aren't right," and he just kicks her out the band, right? Well, that's what this guy is. He's not in it for feedback at all. He thinks it looks amazing and he's showing off. Now, that's not to say you shouldn't do that. If you want to celebrate your own work, dude, go for it. You know what I mean? But maybe read the room. Maybe read the room. It's a horrible thing, I know. It is a horrible thing that this guy has had to say, "Look, I don't want this guy in the hobby. It's my last little solace place. So I'm not going to, be overly positive about the things that he does." I can't have a go at you for that. I can't. I'm somebody who thinks everybody should be in the hobby. That's true, but this guy, you can't trust him to be in the hobby and leave you alone. That's the problem. That's the issue. I think if he could leave you alone and you could just have fun, and every now and again you'd talk about the hobby with him, you'd be fine with it. It's the fact that you knew this was coming. You knew all of these spamming texts, me texts were coming. You knew they were on the horizon. And you were dreading them, and I'm really, really sorry, but now you can't be you can't dissuade him from being in the hobby without being the arsehole, That's the worst bit. Anyway, but yeah, I'm on your side, mate. I am. This guy knows how good he is, right? And I think there's something in his brain that gets off on the fact that he's better than you and he hasn't even started yet. There are some guys out there who are just good at everything. Who seem to be just good at everything. What I would do if I were you, I would start taking the piss. I start giving ribs every now and again. I'd be like, Listen, I'm not a. You just tell him I'm not a very good painter. You sending these to me is not going to get you. I'll praise it, yeah, but like you're not going to get any good tips from me. There are mistakes here that I'm seeing, but I don't know how to correct them. That's what you say. You say there are mistakes here that I'm seeing in your painting, but I don't have the skill to correct them or give you any advice for them. So maybe go on Reddit and things like that and use them there, right? So you've given him a little pushback, a little like slap on the wrist, like listen, enough now, all right, cool. You know, you're not the be all end all. Mind your neck in. And go and put your stuff on Reddit, right? And just take the piss a bit. Just be like, oh, yeah. You good at this as well? Oh, Jesus. You know, don't let it get to you so much. I know it's difficult. But when he wins, just roll your eyes and goes, oh, he wins again, does he? Like my ex was like that. Everything that we did, she won. Literally everything. Whether it be a game of fucking tiddlywinks, she'd win, you know? And it got to the stage where it got so ridiculous, I'd start taking the piss. It's like, oh, self-worth time. Oh, you know, that kind of thing. She goes, shut up. You know, but it's true. You know, you're identifying your self-worth through winning a little game of toy soldiers or winning a little game of Settlers of Catan or something, right? And it would always work. It would always just slap her right down. When she started getting, you know, too big for her boots, just go, oh, self-worth. Oh. But do you have any more friends? Do you know what I mean? Like, say stuff like that. Oh, you won. Yeah, great. But do you have any more friends? No. Okay. Well, I'll just maybe one day. You know, there are tons of little things you can say that are just good-natured and funny, and just end the scenario. Do you know what I mean? And eventually, he will stop with this behaviour. She did. She stopped with that behaviour. We'd always play games, but she wouldn't rub it in my face anymore. She wouldn't, like, you know, get on a high horse about winning. It would always be like, she'd win and go, oh, it was a good game. Yeah, it was a good game. And we'll move on, you know? So maybe try something like that. Just say, listen, man, I'm not sure if your self-worth is this tied into your models or to the winning things, but I find it tiresome. So I'm going to go over here now. There's nothing... Dude, you adjudicate who you want to spend your hobby time with. That's it. Okay? If you don't want to spend it with him, tell him. Just say, no, man, I'm done. Yes, you're a better painter than me. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Okay, well, there you go. Now, will you leave me alone? Cool. Awesome. You know, you need to be that meme where... You know, when that meme where the guy gives him the thumbs up when he says, oh, I hate what you're doing, thumbs up. Go right back to what you're doing, right? Do that. So, mate, what do you want from me? You're a better painter than me. Is that what you wanted to hear? Okay, cool. Awesome. Right, moving on. I've got other things to do, right? Just do that. If it gets that bad, nobody won't leave you alone, and it's obvious what he's doing, just say that. Say, what do you want from me, man? Do you want to know that you're a better painter than me? Okay, here you go. You're a better painter than me. Can I move on now? Can I go back to what I was doing? Alright, thanks. And leave it at that, you know? I don't know. It's a weird scenario. I think maybe take a sip of tea before I carry on. Alrighty. Carrying on. You know those My First Mini posts on Reddit? Where the running joke is that they look amazing? Well, he actually did. His legit first mini was far, far better than anything you'd see in the Windows display at a Games Workshop. His art was more of a transferable skill than I thought it might be, and I was taken aback by just how good it was. And here's the admission. It got me down. Dude, that's not an admission, that's fine. It got me down. I'll be honest, North, just typing this out and rereading it makes me feel like a bit of a knob. I'm far too old to be having thoughts like, stop copying me! I'm way past the point where I consider myself a special, unique snowflake who is precious over my interests. But goodness me, does painting envy feel awfully close to home when it's someone you actually know is dabbing paint on his first minis like a literal artist opus YouTuber. Sending you a blow-by-blow account through photos. The ones I'm doing after 10 years of being in the hobby look legitimately terrible by comparison. And you know what? It sucks. It's a shitty feeling. And it's not just the painting. I play casually and infrequently, and he's already he's already hinted that he's looking at meta stuff. Oh my god. I don't mind his army of choice, I do like them, but I do not find them fun to play against, and I'm not in the mood. I am not in the mood to be facing down beautifully painted and based Reddit lists while my models look like shit. I am not in the mood for this guy's first game to be an exercise in reaming my sisters with a sweaty internet list. I can see what is going to happen in my mind's eye, and I want none of it. As you say, get that in the sea. With every work in progress photo of a beautiful model that's utilizing every YouTuber technique under the sun, with every accompanying post of, there's lots to learn, but I'm kind of happy with it so far, it feels like he's adding a hidden tee-hee-hee to it. It feels like I'm being styled on. That's the phrase I was looking for. Yeah, it feels like you're being styled on. Yes, it feels like that's what he's doing. Either he's really, really, really autistically not there, so doesn't realize what he's doing, right? Or you're being styled on. Whether he realizes it or not. He's doing it on purpose to show off and to put you down. You know, look, you've been in it for so long, and look at my models, that kind of a thing. I've known guys like this, dude. They're always under the radar. It's always a grey area. They've always got plausible deniability. I use that phrase all the time. Plausible deniability. That is why, you know, bullies in the hobby are worse than cheaters. I've always said it, because they've got plausible deniability. You can prove someone's cheating. Say, look, you're cheating, right? But if you're doing things that are in the grey area but are unsportsmanlike and make you look like a dick, you've still got plausible deniability. It's the same thing as a guy talking smack to you, and then you talk smack back, and he goes, oh, well, I'm only joking. Oh, my God. What was that about? Right? Yeah. It's the one thing that really irks me is behaviour like this, where they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. But if you slap them back down again, you're the bad guy. You know? Anyway. I'm sitting here feeling like Salieri. I try not to take things too seriously, but I am emotionally and financially invested in this hobby. Seeing somebody buy their first boxes of plastic and painting it to such a standard right out of the gate is just... Okay, I'll just come out and say it. It's making me feel like I've wasted my fucking time and money making subpar models. Okay, I'll stop there and just ask the questions. What would you do in this situation? Do I have to suck it up and wish him well? Should I give my head a wobble and be genuinely happy for it to have a hobby bro I can learn a few things from? Do I need to get over myself? Try to force myself to see pride in my own work? Again, and not compare myself to others. All the best, North. Whether you give me a telling off here or whether you will sympathise, I'll still be avidly watching the videos. It's great to see you on the brink of 20k subs. Have a good one, Nick. Okay, so... It all depends where... Because I've not met this guy. So it depends how his attitude comes across to me. If he comes across as genuinely being a good guy who just loves being in the hobby right now, then I would go on the side of, yeah, maybe just give your head a wobble and get in there, be happy for the guy and learn some shit from him and that you can bring to your own models, right? That's what I would do, if it's from a genuine place. And then maybe honestly say to him, man, do you mind toning down the spamming? Because even then, it make you feel better. Just tone down the spamming, man. I mean, it's not that good etiquette, you know. I've got my own hobby to be getting on with. I can't be giving you pointers and pats on the back every 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? I love your models, but I've got my own shit to get on with, okay? All right, cool. And then you leave it at that. You leave it at that. That's what you do, okay? That's what I would do anyway. Now, the good stuff comes in if he's not quite being that guy. All right, if he's being a bit of a, shall we say, bit of a dickwad, right? If he's literally there, telling you how good he is, and then just getting on with his day, sort of thing. If he's styling on you, even if he doesn't realise that's what he's doing. Let me take a sip of tea here. What's that? Okay, you seem pretty hard on yourself normally, so I'm guessing maybe he is being this bad, and you're just like trying to dress it up as, you know, you being bad. If he is styling on you and he's good at everything and he's doing it in quite an arrogant, you know, pat on the back way, tee-hee-hee-hee, right? Then you need to, like, say to him, listen, mate, I don't know what you want from me. 5 or 6 texts with your progress is fine at the start, but getting blow-by-blow account is like you're showing off, and it's starting to make me a bit uneasy. Do you know what I mean? Say that verbatim. Mate, a few texts of your progress, no problem at all, you know? I'll give you pointers, or I'll congratulate you on a paint job well done, but giving me all of these texts all of the time, spamming me, it's like you're showing off, and it's like you're trying to style on me or something, and that's not what I'm here for, right? If that's what you're here for, we're not on the same hobby, mate. All right, so you need to just chill with that. Just be honest with him. Be absolutely honest with him. Say, look, it's not making me feel very good. Just stop texting me all this shit all the time. And phrase it like that. Don't phrase it like my painting's so bad, your painting's so good. Don't do that. Just say, look, mate, just stop, please. Okay, just stop. It feels like you're trying to style on me. It feels like you're trying to punk me out. That's what it feels like right now, and it's kind of pathetic. Like, maybe don't say that, but it is kind of pathetic. Just say, like, it's kind of weird. Like, I 1 or 2 texts, you show me your progress, absolutely, I'll send you some back, no problem, you know, and we'll go over the hobby together. But spamming me and wanting validation, or not even that sometimes, just spamming me with things that you think look good, and it sounds like you're trying to style on me. It looks like you're trying to, like, say, oh, I've been in a hobby for 5 minutes and my models are better than yours, kind of thing. That's not what I'm here for, dude. And to be honest with you, if you take this attitude into your gaming, I'm not going to want to play with you either. You know, because you're going to be bringing these meta lists that are going to smack me off the table. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to chill. I'm not here for a competition. Alright, do you want me to say that you're a better painter than me? Fine, cool. Here you go. You're a better painter than me. Can I move on now? Okay, can I move on now? As soon as you've done that, move on. He can do what he wants to do with it. That's what I would do. If he gets his knickers in a twist, fine. He's out of your hair then. He's out of your hair. Either way, right? If you respect your wishes, he's still out of your way. It's good stuff, right? That's what I would do. All right. Moving on. Bolton Norm says, hey North, I hope everything is going well on your end. I am a former Games Workshop manager who is now working in publishing, where I get to read many of the great fantasy writers of tomorrow on a daily basis. Dude, what a dream job. It was never quite the career upgrade that kind of... it was quite the career upgrade that kind of saved my mental health, in all honesty. You know the saying, find yourself a job you love and never work a day in your life? Well, it was not always this rosy, and my time at Games Workshop, despite a promotion or 2, was a torrid time in my life. The manager I worked for at my first store, Ray, was an overbearing prick. Nothing new there, right? Well, every comment out of this guy's head was sarcastic, in a bad and kind of malicious way. He would always try to make you feel like your job was on the line if he gave you something to do. He would announce very loudly to staff that they were still on probation and he could fire them at any time, in front of customers. You think this was because the staff member had done something wrong, right? Nah, it was simply because Ray had wanted a job done quickly that he just gave you. Oh my god. So he'd give you a job and say, oh, by the way, you're still on probation, so get it done quick or I'll fire you. Dude, this guy's a fucking prick. We haven't even gone anywhere in this Hobby Nightmare yet, and this guy's a prick. Oh my god. Get him out of there. He also had this ridiculous file full of training exercises, I know, I had that one too, that he'd make you sit at a table, a small, low one, in the corner of the store, in front of the public, and work through. He joked that it was his timeout table for the kiddies, despite you not doing anything wrong if you were made to go there and do some training. He was just that kind of douche. Other customers didn't like his jokes and would often smile and chuckle awkwardly through gritted teeth whenever he made them at our expense. What he did to us daily was humiliating, and he definitely got off on it in his little breeches. Needless to say, the guy drove me to the brink. I did no hobby in my spare time, as I honestly hated it whilst working as a Games Workshop staffer. The hobby stopped being something I loved doing and became something I identified with subconsciously with pain and stress. And so I stopped doing it and started hating it and the people who did it because I couldn't. Every time I had a day off, I would go on a bender the night before, mostly with friends drinking away in the wee hours. Always in awkward times during the week, as he never gave any of us weekend days off. Of course, he gave himself weekend days off every week, no problem. Before long, I was putting on weight. My skin was getting clammy and pale, and I needed booze to sleep properly due to the stress. Dude, that's not good. That is not good. This is the time when you leave, mate. I'd rather have no job and be struggling than be doing this. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather have to move back in with my parents than have to do this. I'm being honest. Like, there are some jobs that are not worth it. This was one of them. Okay? I love the guys. I normally see them in America, but I've seen a few in the UK as well, who realise how worthless their retail job is. And in doing that, they're like, yeah, fuck you, I'm not doing that. Do you know what I mean? Like, they don't care if you fire them. Okay, fine, fire me. You know? Like, fire me, I don't care. I'll go get another one. These jobs are everywhere, I don't care. I'll get another one, right? Same with the Games Workshop. The only thing that keeps you there is that it's Games Workshop, right? Anywhere else, you'd have walked. If you get into that situation at Games Workshop, walk. Do something else before it ruins your hobby. Don't stick it out. If you're stuck with a guy like this, leave. Just leave. Don't let it poison you or your hobby. Anyway, this culminated when I locked up for the evening and went out with my friends, and in the wee hours of the morning on my way home, I had a heart-skipping realization. You know the type, when your throat feels like it has gone to your stomach and you start to hyperventilate. I had left the banking money, the cash takings for the day, downstairs underneath the till by accident. You may be wondering why I care so much about the job. Well, at this point, I had been offered a manager's role a few towns away, in my hometown no less. Oh, I see. And I knew Ray hated the fact that I'd gotten that job and would do anything to tank it. Here I am, giving him the ammunition he needs to do just that. I get off of the night bus and stagger through an abandoned town centre to the Games Workshop store, huffing and puffing, and I fumble with the keys before getting them in the lock. As it opens, the burglar alarm goes off. I forgot to disarm it. I dive to it and turn it off before calling the shopping centre security, who were luckily still in the building. I told them I was a staff member who had forgotten something in the staff room and that I had to get for the week for my time off. They said they would come around and confirm my identity shortly. They did so and then left me to get my stuff. I closed the door, sweating. Would they tell Ray what had happened? Would he get some sort of automated message about the alarm going off? Fuck it, I thought. Time to press on. The door clicked shut behind me and locked automatically, which was good, and I went to put the float away in the safe room in the back. Thank fuck. I went back to the door and went to open it. Locked. No issue there. I would just get my trusty keys and open it. No keys. What the actual fuck? I looked around the store, panicking, rushing around where I had been to try and find them, retracing my steps for what seemed like hours. In the end, mocking me, they winked at me in the light from the other side of the now locked front door. Oh no. In my fluster to get in and get things sorted and the burglar alarm and the commotion that came with it, they had fallen from my back pocket and to the side of the front door. I tried to call security, no answer. They had packed up and gone home for the night. I was stuck. I was hyperventilating. I went to the back of the store to check the rosters for that week to see who was in the next day. The next day, Ray would be in towards the PM, whilst my other staffer colleague, Dave, would be in on the AM shift. Holy shit, I may be saved. I hunkered down in the back room with my own Warhammer that was in there, knowing I wouldn't sleep. I cracked on building and painting. I got more done in that 5 hours than I think I've ever done before. In fact, I started my new Blood Angel Successor chapter, and I had undercoated them by the time the sun had come up. I went downstairs to wait for Dave, and there he was, opening the door. Ray. Oh no. He had gotten an automated message and was there with Dave. He gave me a stern lecture on making sure things are done properly and told me he would pass this incident up the chain to HQ, with a type of weird, shit-eating grin on his face. Dave stood up for me, saying that me coming back to fix the issue in the middle of the night without just leaving it to the other staffer showed initiative and dedication. Shut up, Dave, Ray said. Dave was an old manager who had come back to the company for some pocket money after he had retired. He just chuckled and went to put his stuff in the back room. I left despondent. Turns out, though, that while I was watched like a hawk in my new store by HQ because of this, Dave had stood up for me with them. He was very well respected, as he was a video game studio designer, and had retired at the age of 55 after his studio had been brought out, only coming back to the company for something to do. He had gone out of his way to tell them that what I did was spot on, and he would have done the same in his situation, and he has done in the past when he screwed things up in the store. Mistakes happen, that kind of thing. He basically saved my hide. Anyway, that's my nightmare, and now I feel so awkward for sending it in. Thanks, Norm. Mate, no need to be awkward, that was brilliant. Absolutely. And it makes me feel a lot better, because I've been in a similar situation. I've known at least 2 or 3 people who've had to come back to their Games Workshop store after hours in the dead of night because they've forgotten something, and they're traipsing around trying to figure things out. I have stayed in a Warhammer store overnight. That is a hobby nightmare of my own that is on the channel from years ago. That did happen to me once. Hopefully never, ever again. And you'd be surprised how often it does. So don't feel too bad. Right? I know at least 2 people who have either involuntarily stayed in a Games Workshop store overnight, or who stayed in there because they fell asleep. Yeah. Don't worry about it. It happens to all of us. We all get tired. We all get scatterbrained. Don't worry about it, alright, man? And they didn't worry about it because it gave you a bloody job afterwards, so who cares, alright? Anyway, hope you enjoyed the Hobby Nightmares. I will be back tomorrow for some more Hobby Nightmares. We've got 4 Hobby Nightmare sessions this week and a 40k rant on Thursday. So I love you a long time. I will speak to you then. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you then. Have a good one. Bye now.